indoor. Played in Ann Arbor. I lived in Saline. Anyway, that was like my life. And so when that happened, I broke my leg, and it was totally didn't have anything to do with playing soccer. But he told me, and I remember it, but not vividly, just like most things that had happened long, long ago. And he said, "You were an angry, angry, angry little girl." And I do remember that. And I remember it wasn't just like a moment or like a day. It was like a section of my life, because I wasn't angry at anything that I could voice, really. I was just, everyone who I came across, I was mad, because I thought that breaking my leg was going to, take away how, like, the world that I had with involvement with, sports, and that I would never be as good as I was, and that, what was I going to do with my time and my friends, and, so I literally was angry at everyone and took it out on the world, and that's not fair. So, but I mean, I was too young to actually sort through that kind of stuff then. Today I can, and I did talk to him about that this afternoon, actually.
Because he said that because you broke it and then it didn't heal correctly.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we got to re-break it so it can heal again.
Oh, yeah. That's when I really
like,
let loose on the doctors.
You were 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
Dropping MFer and,
oh, yeah.
and the B word. And
yeah, I was calling them every name in the book. But, I don't know. I was a kid, so.
Do you wish that they would have sat you down and say, hey, Marnie, this isn't how we react to things? Like,
you mean like their parenting skills?
Yeah.
I
mean,
I don't know if I would have really reacted or absorbed what they were saying. I think that they just let me be mad, I think, is what he said. But they probably should have said.
Do you think that's where your anger started from? Like
No.
The anger that you
I'm not
carried
an
with
angry
you
person.
until you were
No,
4
I'm
years
really
old.
not. No.
From the broken leg.
You're really trying to go back to my childhood to figure out where
That's
I
where
went
the
wrong.
trauma starts. That's where it comes from most of the
Right?
time.
That was supposed to be a joke.
A lot of the time, but yeah. So you broke the leg, and that's where the anger, the mean Marty came out.
Mm-hmm. In that situation, that's what that was. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a common thing for people, though, is to go immediately to anger because the other feelings and emotions are too confusing and hard to figure out, and sometimes we don't want to try to figure them out. So go immediately to anger. Okay. It's a kind of a shotgun emotion. It's a go-to. I'm gonna be mad.
Okay, let's do a little role reversal. So let's say you're a parent and Winfield breaks his leg, or Mafakir Winfield breaks his leg, or something bad happens, and he's just mad. Mm-hmm. How would you handle that?
Well, probably, I mean, this was like a long period of time that I was had this overwhelming feeling of anger. So definitely had to talk through it with the kid.
You talked to it with little Winfield.
Yeah. I mean, basically, I probably should have just been, like you said, this is not, you can't be taking out your feelings about sadness. I mean, that's what it was. It was a combination of sadness and fear. I mean, that's mostly where everything comes from. Was I going to be able to play soccer again? Was I going to be as good as I was? How long was it going to take? The unknown. I mean, all these things that none of them were positive. Right. It was nothing good was coming out of having a broken leg. And, it wasn't, and it was my fault. So, I was angry. Well, I was, how would you say that? I was blaming myself, self-blame. shoot. Now, see, I really wish I would have talked through it with myself back then, saying this stuff this is what you're feeling, and these are all they're all totally valid feelings. That's the beautiful thing about feelings is you can have them. You just need to sort through them and figure out which ones actually you can show and work through to get down to this is what's what, and this is the healthiest way to handle the situation. And at 11 years old or however old I was, I didn't have that capacity to do that.
And that's a tough age to turn it into a positive too, because I think there's a lot of embarrassment there because, like you said, like a lot of people, because love soccer, and a lot of people think, oh man, you must have did that playing soccer. No, I tripped over a dog,
stupid kid thing to do.
So I think there was embarrassment, and you would have held yourself to a higher standard. So then, boom, now something dumb, and now you're paying the price, not only in pain, but the embarrassment and these other things. But like, if you were probably a few years older, it could have been spun with like, wow, now all the cute boys can sign your cast, and you could have had some fun with it. But being at 11 or 10, 11, I think that's still a little awkward stage, and you were probably like 8 foot taller than all the boys, and
well, I'll even add on to that is because I was had a full plaster cast on, I couldn't carry myself with crutches, so I had to be in a wheelchair. So that was another thing, is I was disadvantaged. Not only could I not do the normal, walk like a normal person or play sports, is I was like handicapped, like treated. I had to use different doors and, ride the bus.
At least in Detroit, you have a bus stop.
Back home.
At least you have bus stops there.
Leave class early.
Oh,
anyway,
leave class. Yeah, but that's still like, it's hard to find the positive. Oh, sorry, Nico. I just kicked her. Sorry, baby. See, she's not mad at me.
But looking back, just like anything, I think that that whole experience, it's just like life learning lessons. And I don't want to say it's one of those like it changed me or shaped me, but I think everything kind of does. But I had to learn patience, and I had to be humble, and I had to, acceptance of the whole situation. Did I handle it as good as I could have? No, but I also was young, and, it's just one of those things. It's one of those things you chalk up to experience,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I still waiting on that part for the time machine, so can't really do anything about it now. And the fact that you can take that though as like, okay, that was an experience, that was a learning experience, and even today, 30 years later or whatever, you're still learning from your past and your childhood and the things that were traumatic, and that definitely was a traumatic experience for you, and just kind of use that in today. You can still do that, even though you didn't learn at the time how to react to it and how to act in that situation, and you can still look back and go, yeah, there's some things I could have done differently. And I think that's a big thing for people in recovery, because we can't go back and change things. And getting on a party bus to go to a Dallas Cowboys game, it's like, I know how to act on buses now, and I'm probably not going to jump on a party bus, and if I do, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't want to really be around that, the whole drinking atmosphere. And not that, some people I'm sure could get on a bus and have a couple beers and be fine. I can't. It's full blown until you're puking in the toilet on a bus. That's pretty embarrassing. And, the way I acted then, I don't want to act like that again. So, those lessons I've learned as well, some of them, and I can take those moments in time where I'm just like, oh, I'm embarrassed about that, and I feel so bad about that, and I can turn it into something like, okay, well, that's not how I'm ever going to act again, and
right.
So, we learn from our past, and there's no need to run from those moments, and there's a lot of things that people have done in the past, and you don't have to let that define who you are today, especially when it comes to substance use. And, you know, if you're doing a lot of stupid things when you're using, and sometimes you probably don't remember, and you want to wake up when you do remember, and you want to hurry up and forget it. So, like, for me, I would just start drinking again, you know, and then do more dumb stuff. I mean, just keep adding to the list. And it wasn't until, you know, when I stopped drinking a year and a half ago that the really stupid things kind of stopped happening. You know, there's some stupid things I've done along the way still, but not nearly as bad as when I was drinking. Not one good thing has ever happened to me when I was drinking.
Well, you know, like, one thing about learning from your past that I still to this day cannot get over how many times I did this, and the thoughts that went through my head were the same over and over, is when I'd be trying to quit on my own, and I would be, quote unquote, weaning myself off. And sometimes it would be working better than others, but how sick I would be, like how physically ill, and how the realization of how physically addicted my body had become. I mean, my body needed alcohol in it to be able to function. And I don't mean function like be able to, like, you know, go to work, or function like get in your car, or function like, you know, I don't know, do homework. I mean, function like get up and walk and eat and sleep. And I mean, the basic, just to live. And how sick I was, and thinking to myself, why do I do this to myself? And I do not ever want to feel like this ever again. And then it got to the point where I would break, and I would be like, I need to drink some alcohol. Like, I can't do this. My body needed it. I needed some alcohol. And that insanity of that. And I even got to the point where my parents even knew, like, she needs some alcohol to be able to, like, not have a seizure, which I did have. I would have seizures from withdrawals if I didn't do the detox through a hospital setting. And I mean, I didn't care. I didn't want alcohol. I didn't want to feel the alcohol effect. I just wanted to not be sick. I mean, it could have been anything. It could have been a fucking magic, it could have been a magic Tootsie Roll or something that, you know, they'd be like, here, just take this and you won't feel like this anymore. But no, I knew that the answer was not a magic Tootsie Roll or whatever. It was alcohol. And you're, like, feeding yourself what you're trying to get off of. And so this whole weaning thing. Anyway, and I kept, you know, but I kept doing it over and over and over. I mean, there would be spaces in between, obviously. Or sometimes I would just give up totally, and I'm like, I can't do this. And I don't know. I mean, you would think that it would have become a real, you know, sooner than it did. But, you know, so that part, I don't know if you want to say learn from your mistakes, but.
Well, we both remember that, and I'm sure we're not the only ones. You know, laying in bed, can't keep anything down. Water. I mean, I was drinking water just so I could puke it up, because I didn't know what else to do. And then, you know, you get to that point where you break and you go, I need to go. I need to go get some more.
Yep.
And that last time that I drank, I had to drink a half a gallon, so that was like a fifth, just to stop the shakes and to go, oh, I feel normal. As normal as I feel right now, that's how I felt after I drank a fifth.
Wow.
And that was when I was like, holy mother of God, like, I need help, you know. And I just remember laying in that bed and just, it was horrible. And that's something I'm not going to forget. And I mean, I guess I learned from that. I mean, I learned how I don't want to feel anymore. At that time, though, I didn't know how to stop. The only way I knew how to stop is to go get more. And I know I needed help, but I had been to the hospital so many times. And when you're in that deep of it, and you know, this is going to take some serious help. You know, I can't just I can't just do this on my own. Like
Yeah.
they're just gonna